Hello and welcome to G String. I'm Martin Greek, your host. Today we've got another look at another artist in the Scottish music scene. We've got some great stuff coming up. Of course, as always, we will apologise for the fact that our show has got a childish name. The guitar behind me, you'll notice, has had its G string snapped. But anyway, on with the show.
Let's take a walk in the garden before the rain starts to fall and drenches the branches of melancholy.
My name is Katie and I am a solo artist, and I'm also in a duo based in Glasgow, and it's kind of like, well, both sort of projects are just multitudes of different genres like all mixed together. And I also do like tutoring and recording work and session work and stuff like that. So I work full time as a musician, and obviously I've got the projects going on as well. So there's lots going on, maybe too much at times.
So what are your musical influences?
Well, my solo stuff, it's definitely a mixture of sounds. I grew up listening to loads of different like bands and artists, and I guess it's all kind of molded into like a sort of mixture of sounds. So I would say it's like a combination of like kind of a dark sort of atmospheric alternative pop, but there's elements of like kind of rock in there, like melodic, maybe some alternative rock, a little bit of electronic, and just like, I don't know, like sort of kind of more contemporary classical sounds from like the piano, and just a whole bunch of like sounds that mix together. And then with Artax, my duo, it's kind of like a mixture of sounds as well. So Callum was the one that started the project off, and then I joined later, and it's kind of like went from like sort of synthwave, house prog into like I would say there's like classic sort of 80s rock and 80s pop sort of sounds in there, but there's also, we're kind of leaning more towards the sort of like kind of, there's metal sounds, and there's a bit of gent, and there's a bit of like heavy sort of rock, and just like a whole bunch of sounds just like sort of meshed together.
So how did you get into music?
I used to do musical theatre. And I also used to go to church, so there's like some influences from like sort of gospel music and musical theatre stuff. But then I sort of got into the kind of more acoustic sort of like people and like indie sort of people. But I would say my main influences right now are like, I don't know, like there's influences from Adele, Stevie Wonder, Freddie Mercury, Ludovico Einaudi. He does like all the kind of contemporary classical sort of stuff, but I love rock and metal music, and I'm a huge fan of like Alice in Chains and Thrice, Bring Me the Horizon, Slaves, obviously Queen, just like a whole bunch of stuff like Audioslave and ABBA. We've got to have some ABBA in there. There's like a whole mixture. It can go from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, so there's really no one that I won't listen to, kind of thing. Blue Roses is the title track off my EP, well it will be, and that was released last July. And that song, it's about my struggles and battles with like OCD, and how that's been like living with that for the past couple of years. It's been like a really dark time in my life, a really difficult time in my life, because it's all been in here. And people don't see that, but it's in here, and it can be a daily struggle. So it's kind of related to nature in the way where I find peace and tranquility in nature, and that's how I get away from the thoughts. But it's like walking through a garden full of blue roses, and like you think of blue as like kind of melancholy and sadness and stuff, but then you kind of get past all that, and there's beauty within the darkness, and there's like a light beyond all that. And yeah, I guess that's like a kind of really philosophical way of explaining it, but that's Blue Roses. Callum, he is really the mastermind behind Artax. So he does like all the guitars, he does bass, he can play drums, he does like all the production and all the mixing and stuff like that. And then I do like lead vocals, and I'll write like the lyrics and the vocal melodies and the harmonies. Sometimes I'll do like piano and synth and stuff. And together we just kind of combine all of that. So he'll maybe like write a track, and he does it so quickly, like he's just like a total whiz with it, and then he'll send it to me, and then I'll just like write lyrics and vocals, and then he'll like mix it all in. And when it's like a live setup, so I'll maybe have like, obviously my microphone and any like vocal effects, and then maybe like a piano or a synth. And he has like his guitar, and he's got his pedals, and he's got like a laptop, and that's got like the kind of tracks on it. But we're kind of aiming to try and get a drummer in at some point, and also maybe looking to add in some like the kind of drum pads that I would maybe do when he's like doing his like guitar solos. So that's kind of like the current setup just now. Obviously we can't do much until after like lockdown and stuff, but yeah, it's kind of how it works so far with Artax.
How would you describe the Scottish music scene?
Scotland has one of the best music scenes right now, for up and coming artists. I think it's such a community, everybody kind of knows each other, everyone is really supportive of each other. So like especially like all the female musicians actually right now, the female artists, I've noticed there's like a huge surgence of like support for female artists, like supporting each other. I think because it can be difficult sometimes as a female artist, like it's good to have that sort of support network. But I think it's an amazing scene. Like everybody, like I said, everyone knows each other. You go to all these jam nights and you just meet all these people, and you end up like forming loads of connections, and it's just really, it's a great place for like networking and just kind of getting your name out there. I know people who've came from like different countries to come and like stay here purely for the Glasgow music scene and the Scottish music scene. So I think it's an amazing place to be for music personally.
What got you into music?
I grew up like, singing in like the nativities, and like the church band and stuff. And then when I was in high school, like used to play trumpet, and I used to be in like a wind band and a jazz band. And I grew up like not just doing that, but I also like obviously started doing like lots more singing in school and things, and did loads of concerts and performances, and with the bands like we did like loads of competitions. We went to like Paris at one point, we went down to Birmingham, and we did all these really cool things. And then I went and did musical theatre for a little while, realised that wasn't really for me. And then just went to the Academy of Music and Sound in Glasgow, and then it's just kind of carried on from there. But like from an early age, I've been doing music since I was like really, really young. So, and my family are all like, a lot of people in my family play music, so I guess I couldn't really escape it because my mum plays piano and guitar, and so both sides of the family are pretty musical. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been very cool.
So tell us a little bit about the music that you've got coming out.
Callum's just one of these people who just has so many ideas, and we're going to be doing another Artax album this May. So I think this is going to be, oh no, I think it's just a standalone single. But he, so he wrote the track, and then it was a really weird timing as well. Like there was really weird timings in it, and it took me a while to get, kind of used to that, and because I don't really write in sort of irregular timings. So I recorded like the vocals, wrote the lyrics and stuff, and then we released that as like a standalone single before Christmas last year. And then he wanted to do like a sort of pre-recorded live performance of it. So obviously we had to do it remotely from our respective houses. So he recorded it at his flat, and then I recorded where I was, and then he just sort of edited it all together, and then we premiered it on YouTube.
That familiar doubt comes creeping in. I've tried to show it the door. It keeps on catching me, hook, line, and sinker. Cast away your nets, tangled around my
thanks for watching the G-String Show. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you're going to click that like button and also the subscribe button. And don't forget to share it to your friends!